Hey yo, what it do YouTube? It's your boy Alvin MB10 aka AMR10, and what I have for you today is some more NBA 2K22 Next Gen. Now the build I have made for you today happens to be a Mr. Triple Double Russell Westbrook build, and let me just say this might be the most balanced point guard build you would have ever seen on NBA 2K22 Next Gen. As you can guess, this thing does come with finishing, shooting, playmaking, and defense, with the key things being finishing wise, it can get all forms of contact dunks in pro, small, and elite, as well as having good layup capability and a tiny bit of a close shot. And then shooting wise, you do have the ability of being able to knock down the 3-ball and then a midi. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the shooting badges are at a silver, but that's because again, it is inspired by Russell Westbrook. And then playmaking wise, everything is near gold and Hall of Fame. And then defensively, you can lock up at the perimeter, you do get silver intimidator, and you also get quite high rebounding stats at the point guard position. And then physicals, as you can guess, we do gotta put some respect on Russell Westbrook. Now, as most of you know, Russell Westbrook is the starting point guard, right-handed jersey number 0 for the Los Angeles Lakers. Actually, before I get into the body settings, I do gotta say a big old shout out to Jalen, because I have been looking for builds to make, because as most of you know, I'm done making glitch builds, and Jalen was one of the people that dropped a comment telling me a build he wanted to see, which just happened to be this Mr. Triple Double Russell Westbrook build. But getting straight back into it, height-wise, we decided to go 6'3", because Russ is 6'3". He does come in at about 200 pounds, but I decided to weigh it all the way down to 172, as well as bringing his wingspan up to 7 feet tall, just because I wanted the ability of getting at least gold perimeter defense, gold clamps on this build, which for that you need at least an 85 perimeter defense. So getting his wingspan up to 7 foot tall, as well as keeping his weight at 172 was the one way we could get it, whilst being able to keep his speed at a 90 something plus. That way, if you don't agree with how I made the build, you can easily adjust it and you can get the best out of it. Body shape wise, as you can guess, we will be going defined, because again, Russell Westbrook is, yeah, he's a specimen, man. If you've looked at the man, you can tell he hits the gym. Now, before we get into the skill breakdown for this here build, I do gotta say thank you for all the support you've been showing to the channel. As most of you know, we are on the road to 2K23, and I'm not gonna lie to you, 2K22 is something special, because I think we did damn near 1,000 subs in 2K22, so I do gotta say thank you to all of you, because it wouldn't be possible without all of you. But then I also gotta say, if you like today's video and you want to see more content like it, do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button. Don't forget to drop a comment telling me what you think of the build and any of the builds you might want to see. Don't forget to share the video, and if you're new to the channel and you ain't done so yet, hit that subscribe button, as well as turning post notifications on. Now, getting into the skill breakdown, first things first, I do gotta mess with the speed and excel. I decided to go with an 87 on the speed and excel, just because it is a Russell Westbrook build, and yeah, he might be one of the fastest people up and down the court, but recently he hasn't truly shown that, so we went with an 87 speed and then an 87 excel, and then we also decided to go with an 87 when it came to the speed with ball. I might as well do this now. As most of you know, the key reason for this being I like to keep speed with ball, excel, and speed are about the same. That way when you're moving up and down the court, you really don't feel a difference in your player's speed. Vertical wise, we decided to go with an 80 because, as you know, for small contact dunks, you need an 85 driving dunk and an 80 vertical. And then we also decided to put the driving dunk up to a 92 because, as you know, for elite contact dunks, you need a 92 driving dunk and I believe a 70 or 75 vertical. But with the 80, we obviously surpass it. And then stamina wise, I decided to go with a 95, even though most people might say, why not go with a 99? Key thing being, when you're running this build, I'm assuming you're running with your friends, in which case you won't need to really be dribbling that tough. If you are dribbling that tough, either let go of R2 or stop playing with that screen cheese. Now, rounding up the finishing, I decided to go with an 81 when it came to the layup, just because this allowed us to get Hall of Fame Pro Touch, Unstrippable, Putback Boss, Teardropper, and Slithery Finisher, as well as Silver Acrobat, Fearless Finisher, and Giant Slayer to pair along with Hall of Fame Limitless Takeoff, Gold Lob City Finisher, and Gold Posterizer. Then when it came to the close shot, I went with a 54, but again, this was inspired by the mid-range jump shot that we put on this build. And as you can see, it allowed us to get a total of 21 finishing badges on this build, with the funny thing being you have the capability of getting bronze fast twitch. Now, to get the weakest part of this build out of the way, it happens to be the shooting. I say it's the weakest part, but it's not really the weakest part in the fact of it's shooting that's good enough that you can knock down jump shots, but it's not one of those where you'll scream, this is a shooting build. So first things first, we put the mid-range jump shot up to an 81 because even though Russell Westbrook technically does struggle shooting, I do believe he shoots a half decent percentage from his midi. And then I decided to give him a 78 when it came to the 3-ball because even though he shoots what I believe to be the mid to low 30%, he really can't knock down the 3-ball. Plus, I wanted to give him gold corner specialist, and yeah, this is what we decided to go with. Now, as you can see, we do finish with a lot of silver badges when it comes to shooting, a few gold, but the Hall of Fame ones being slippery off ball, sniper, fade ace, and clutch shooter. Which, yeah, they don't scream this build's a shooting build, but they scream this build can knock down jump shots. As you can see, we also went with the 70 on the free throw, because if you do take this into the rec, I believe a 70 free throw is good enough for you to knock down free throws. Only way it's not is if you're really tired, in which case probably Lego or R2. Now that allows us to finish with 23 total shooting badge points to pair up with our 21 finishing, and the next thing to get into will be the ball handling. Sorry, not the ball handling, the playmaking. Ball handling first, you got to go with an 87, because as you want to get gold unpluckable on this build, because steals and two, actually they're not OP. Like, they really nerfed them again. If anyone tells me steals are OP, please show me some clips of it, because personally I feel like they've nerfed it slightly. And yeah, and then when it comes to the pass accuracy, I decided to go with an 87, because you do, or at least I personally always want to get at least gold needle thread on these builds. I know I could easily get gold, floor general, and diamond by putting this up to a 90, but then the issue is I have to burn a whole attribute point in the fact of this build goes up to a 91 overall, and that limits us in what we can do when it comes to the defense. Now the good thing here is it allows us to finish with 30 playmaking badges, only thing being floor general and diamond, the only ones at silver, which we can deal with. Everything else is at gold. Hall of Fame badges being downhill, glue hands, break starter, and triple threat juke. And I believe downhill and triple threat juke play a big part to Russell Westbrook's game, so those two will be clutch. Now, defensively, we decided to go with an 85 perimeter defense because, as I said, in the body settings, we did want to get at least gold clamps on this build. When it came to the steal, we decided to go with an 80. I do know you get gold interceptor at an 78 and gold pickpocket at an 85, but I went with an 80 precisely because of how many badges it allows me to get once we round this defense up. So yeah, we went with an 80 to get gold interceptor, mainly because, as most of you know, Russell Westbrook, majority of his steals come from playing the passing lanes and then finishing them off with some of the most spectacular dunks we've ever seen. Now, block-wise, we decided to go with a 66 because, again, you need a 65 block to get Silver Intimidator, but as you can see, leaving it at a 65 gives us one less badge point, so we had to put it up to a 66 because now we get Silver Intimidator, Silver Pogo Stick, as well as Bronze Chase Down Artist. And then offensive rebound, we decided to go with a 75, which is the maximum we can possibly get on this build, as well as giving it a 76 defensive rebound, which allows us to get 23 total defensive badge points, but the rebounding badges being Bronze Rebound Chaser, Worm, as well as Gold Box, which I still believe is a weird-ass name for a badge. But yeah, that allows us to finish with 23 total defensive badge points to match up with the 30 playmaking, 23 shooting, and 21 finishing, which is a grand total of 97 total badge points on this here Mr. Triple-Double Russell Westbrook build that can damn near do it all. Only thing it can't do is play inside the paint defensively or shoot out of the post, but hey, it is what it is. Now, if you've managed to finish all 9 seasons of NBA 2K22 Next Gen, because it's been out for just over half a week now, as well as managed to rebirth this build, then you will get a grand total of 110 total badge points on this here Mr. Triple-Double Russell Westbrook build. And if you do make the build and max it out, do let me know so I can see some gameplay with it. Now, primary takeover. First things you gotta go with is most likely, I'm gonna go with finishing moves, because again, this is a Russell Westbrook build, and yeah, well, once he attacks the hole, we all know what Westbrook's going for, and we love to see it. Hopefully, I know he won't get shipped out of LA, but hopefully he does, because I do want to see Westbrook come back and really show us what he can do. And then the second takeover I'd probably go with pull-up precision. I know he's not one of the best shooters in the league, but as I've said before, his mid-range jump shot is kind of nice, and he is well known for hitting that elbow pull-up. So I'd either go with pull-up precision. My second choice would be negative impact, because with how weak the shooting is with how the shooting on this build is not elite, you will want to run a shooting take just to help you get that little boost, but I decided to go with pull-up precision. Now, what 2K says we have happened to build here happens to be a two-way slashing playmaker, the likes of John Wall, Baron Davis, and Lonzo Ball. I see John Wall, I see Baron Davis. Lonzo Ball's more of a two-way three-point playmaker, as you have seen in my previous Lonzo Ball build. Now, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, which if you did, don't forget to do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're new to the channel and you're ain't down here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And don't forget, if you have a specific build you want to see me make, or you have a criticism of this build, do me a favor, go ahead and drop that down below in the comments. Anyway, it's been your boy Alvin MB10, aka AMR10. I'll catch you in a bit. Deuces.